Welcome, everybody. This will be episode number 3 for the Destiny Network Amplified podcast, and we're incredibly excited to just share with you. We want to continue to look into subjects that will be beneficial, applicable to where you're at in your ministry, and hopefully from trusted DNA.
Hopefully.
Trusted relationships. Anyway, so glad you're joining with us today. We've got an exciting podcast with an interesting and sometimes can be controversial or challenging subject. Today, we want to talk about AI, the use of artificial intelligence, help bring some understanding, maybe even demystify it. I know just the thought of AI for a lot of people in all walks of life, and then I think my perspective, especially in ministry, pastors are somewhat leery of AI, don't understand it, don't know how to use it. And so we just thought it would be a great topic to kind of dialogue about. So I have some incredibly special guests with me today that we're going to have a dialogue. And here's what I thought I would do. I thought I would show everybody one possible use of AI, and we're going to kind of roll the dice and see if it actually worked or not. I thought this would be fun. I know the person sitting next to me really well, Pastor Tony Rivera, but I wondered what AI knew about him. So I got into my ChatGPT account, and here's the prompt I gave it. It knew I was doing a podcast. I said, my guest is Tony Rivera Jr., who pastors City Church in Miami. Give me a bio and intro for him.
Good prompt.
That was my prompt. And here's what it came up with. Pastor Tony Rivera Jr. is the lead pastor of City Church in Miami, Florida. Alongside his wife, Diana, he founded City Church in 2005 with a vision to create a diverse, spirit-led community where people can freely experience the presence of God, grow in faith, and transform cities through outreach. Under their leadership, City Church has become a vibrant, disciple-making church committed to equipping generations to live with purpose and impact. How's it doing so far?
It sounds like it came straight from my website.
It might have just copied straight from the website. In addition to his pastoral role, Pastor Tony is known for his passion for developing leaders and fostering community transformation. His ministry reflects a deep commitment to pastoring pastors, resourcing leaders, and planting churches that make a tangible difference in their communities. Today, Pastor Tony joins us to share insights on embracing innovation in ministry, particularly the use of AI and how technology can serve as a tool for evangelism and discipleship in the modern church.
It did pretty good.
It did pretty good, didn't
Yeah.
it? And it was probably especially beneficial because we have another special guest that I've never met until just a few minutes ago, but was referred to him not only by Pastor Tony, but by Pastor Amanda Connor as well. And his name is Oleg Matyukov. And we're pleased to have him join us today all the way from the Ukraine. What city are you in? Not Ukraine, the UK. The UK.
In the UK, yes, Solihull.
What city are you in?
Solihull, it's a town next to Birmingham.
Next to Birmingham. Awesome. So here's what it came up with. I gave it really the same prompt, and here's what it came. Oleg Matyukov serves as the Director of Europe at CV, Christian Vision, a global Christian ministry dedicated to introducing people to Jesus and equipping the church to do the same. In his role, Oleg leads strategic initiatives across Europe, focusing on digital evangelism, innovative outreach, and partnerships that empower churches and believers to share the gospel effectively in today's digital landscape. With a deep commitment to leveraging technology for mission, Oleg has been instrumental in developing resources and strategies that help believers engage in meaningful faith conversations online. His leadership reflects a passion for integrating digital tools with the timeless message of the gospel, ensuring that the church remains vibrant and relevant in a rapidly changing world. Today, Oleg joins us to share insights on how pastors and leaders can embrace digital innovation, particularly AI, to enhance their ministry and outreach efforts. How did ChatGPT do, Oleg?
That's amazing. That's why I love it. I would never be able by myself to introduce myself in that way.
Well,
it makes our life so much easier.
I was quite amazed and continue to be quite amazed at all the possibilities that AI opened up to us when used appropriately and effectively, and I believe it can be. So we want to dive in today, maybe just help get rid of some of the confusion about AI and explore how it can be an effective ministry tool from a practical everyday thing to ultimately how can it help us to win the world, to reach the world, and to advance the kingdom of God. So let's start with a simple question. Oleg, maybe you can start. what is AI really, and what are some common misconceptions people might have about it, and maybe especially pastors and ministry leaders?
I would describe it in my words. AI, it's a new technology and a very powerful technology. So that's why there are so many misconceptions and so many fears and talks around it. But for me, it's another technology which can be used in a good way and in a bad way, as any other technology that we have seen and we have in our life. And it's very powerful, and it has a powerful knowledge, and it can do so many things at the moment which we as a human we can do. So that's why lots of people, they are concerned that it can take their jobs. But I have some concerns in regards to AI, but I'm more excited because it supports and it helps in so many ways. And for us as Christian ministries and Christian leaders, it opens so many great opportunities which we can use for advancing the gospel, like we just briefly discussed in our short conversation before the podcast.
Yeah, and we're going to dive into some of those ways that it can be used to advance the kingdom a little bit later in the podcast, or it might wait even until the next episode, but we'll get there at some point in our conversation.
Yeah, when March a year ago, I was in Nicaragua with 20 pastors, and I began to teach on the subject of using AI for their ministry. And the reason I did that is the churches that I go to, they don't have a lot of resources at all, and they're hungry for information. So what we as a network in Nicaragua, we did is we bought the subscription, something simple. I think a great way to introduce them is like OpenAI, ChatGPT. And basically, I began to teach them. Number one is I had to demystify it. I asked them, how many of you are for AI? I say 90% said, no, we don't know anything about it. We're afraid, especially a country like that don't know a lot.
Well, I think it's true in the United States as well as in other
So I asked them,
yeah.
How many of you have used Facebook? Everybody raised their hand. How many of you do online banking? They raised their hands. And so I began to name several things that they do every single day. And I said, well, you are users of AI. And they looked at me, what? And I began to teach them that, have you gone on your social media and all of a sudden you looked on the online something or their research, all of a sudden all the products line up. Yeah, how does that happen? I said, that's AI. And I began to demystify, they're being using it already and they didn't even know. So then I said, AI is not to replace you. AI is not to think for you. AI can serve as an assistant. Like Oleg said, their concerns are that sometimes we can get lazy and now we make all our decisions, pass it on. But when we are initiated and using it as an assistant, it has incredible benefits for you. I believe that at the end, it's not there to replace you, because at the end, it's really the Holy Spirit that needs to be involved in our decision making and everything that we do. But AI can facilitate in so many ways. So what I did is I asked one of the pastors, present me your notes that you preached on Sunday. And so he gave them to me. We put them on ChatGPT, and we asked it, all right, create me a 5-day devotional on your notes, on the scriptures, provide life application, and also a prayer. In 1 minute, it did all 5 days using the scriptures, using everything. I said, wonderful. Now take that same message outline and create a small group discussion, questions with prompts and follow up. It did that in 1 minute. I said, now use the same material to provide a Sunday school curriculum for children between 3 and 5, create a coloring page, an activity page, and suggestions of songs that would match that would and also match their age group. It did that in a minute. And within about 15 minutes, I had curriculum for the whole every area of ministry, and it was using the notes of the pastor. And so they were blown away. At that time, I had them. And now they begin to use a lot of those resources because they're always hungry. They're always asking, do you have any sermons? Do you have any material? And I say, yeah, we can facilitate you. And therefore, now they're using it all the time. I'm supposed to go back to do another follow-up to help them continue to expand in other areas of ministry.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. It can be used in so many different ways. I really first got enlightened about AI actually during the process of getting my doctorate degree. And actually, Dr. Leonard Sweet, who was our mentor through the whole program, starts talking about AI, and he's using it. And I think my mind was blown at that point because I had been resistant. So he starts offering suggestions. It actually became my editor and proofreader for my dissertation. So that when I actually put it into the hands of somebody to proofread it, they're like, "Why are you having me read this? Why are you having me proofread it?" It was incredible time saver and aid. Obviously, it did not write my dissertation. It was my material. I wrote it. It edited it, proofread it, and it was incredible. Yeah, so there's so many different applications. Tony, you've had some real interesting ways that you're using it on a practical day-to-day basis. So let's just talk about some of the other opportunities there.
The one thing which I think we can do a follow-up session is teaching it to create a profile and prompting it, giving material so it understands you and it comes from your voice and your perspective. But what I've done is we do our planning. We do a lot of planning. We put in workflows. So we create workflows out of it. We're going to do a process of, for example, a conference. We give all the details of things we want to have. And then I ask it to organize it in a way that it flows, transitions better. And within a couple minutes, I have the workflow for a 3-day conference from all the sessions lined up. And it even provides, it suggests you want certain topics added to it. It gives me advice because I prompted already. I taught it. So we've done conferences like that. I also take my in my financials on Excel.
This is the one that got me interested right here.
I put it in there and I asked it, okay, are there any discrepancies? It tells me if there's a discrepancy. It also provides me forecasting. By this time in 6 months, it's your break even point, and it does all these things for you business like that. I believe within 5 years a lot of CPs are going to be looking for another job because it does that for you,
and we might have just lost some people here around that. I know. When you say it's going to take somebody's job. That's what we're trying to convince people it won't.
No. One person said it never takes people's jobs if you learn it. It'll create more job opportunities for you. So so I do that. I also, when we think about themes, I do a lot of series. And what I like to do is provide a devotional. So I actually put my whole series in there, my outlines and scriptures and points. And it helps me to create devotional so people are throughout the week following along with me. So it makes me a better writer. Because every time I get a concept, an idea, I put it in there and I ask it to organize it for me and provide a 1-page outline sheet, and I keep saving those. And then when I'm ready to do a message, I can build it on the thoughts that God gives me. And in the old days, I used to have to write a notepad and keep it. Yeah. Now I keep it there. It keeps it all organized. I have files of it. It makes me so efficient on those things.
Yeah, efficiency.
It's your personal assistant, literally.
Writing, Go ahead.
Go ahead, Oleg. Were you going to say something else?
Yeah. It's I'm using it in the same way. So if ChatGPT or Claude or other AI assistants, they will stop working today, I have no idea how I will live without them because they became part of my life. And Pastor Tony, you just shared an example of this congregation with whom you shared your experience, and you just demystified. You explained them how it works. And we are tended to reject what we don't understand. What we don't understand, we're afraid of it. But once someone explains a little bit, give us a guidance, shows us how it works, then we are in it, and we see the benefits, we see how it makes our life easier. But what I think we also need to do when we explain to our congregations and to the churches and Christians and anyone that it gives lots of opportunities, but we shouldn't rely 100% on what it tells. For example, when we develop a program for Sunday school, we still have to check, because even these models, when they give an answer, they always do a little description, a little comment that it might make mistakes. Please check it before you use it. But it's getting smarter and smarter almost on a daily basis. And the more I use it, sometimes the less I check it. But it shouldn't be the case. We still need to check, especially from the biblical perspective.
Yeah, for sure. I know I'm using it. I continue to explore different ways to use. AI. But one of them is we invited our people to all read through the Bible together. A certain plan. We're doing a chronological plan. I think we had like 350 people in our church sign up and say, we're going to read the Bible with you this year. And what I promised is that at least once a week, I would write a blog based on something that we read that week. And so this was going to challenge me because candidly, though I can write, I personally don't like to write. I would rather sit there and talk to you than actually put everything out on paper. I'm just going to be real transparent here. And so I just thought, man, I wonder if AI could help me. So I created a prompt. I helped it learn me how I write, and at some point we're gonna actually have a follow-up, by the way. If you hang on, by the end of next podcast, you can sign up for a 4-week follow-up on learning how to use AI in your ministry. So hang on for that information. But it learned how I communicate, and so now I take basically outline of a thought that I want to create a blog about, and I say, take these thoughts, create a blog. It puts it in a format that is just perfect. So now every blog is basically in the same format when you go onto our blog site, but it sounds like me. I go in and edit. There's some things it puts in there that I don't like, that don't sound like me. I change it. So it is everything I've fed it. It just puts it out in a really quick form, and it's amazing.
That's amazing.
I've done a social media campaigns. So I say I want to do 3 quotes, 1 video, 1 Q&A a week, and organize them. Here's my topics, and it does that for me so easily because it's a guide that I'm putting the information and I'm coming up with the thoughts, but it helps me organize. I had so many times that people will come and prophesy that, Tony, you're going to write the books. And I had a lot of stuff that I was not like accumulated but never put into book form. Now I'm taking all 20-some years of it and organizing it. And now I can see probably 2 books a year coming out because it's already in me. It's helping me, give me an outlet to actually put it on paper and actually feel confident about it because it's been edited. That I use it as an editor. Life experiences that I've had, it helps me communicate it better. And so social media is one of the outlets you can do.
Matter of fact, I've been experimenting with social media. I'm going to just chime in right there. I took an outline from one of my messages, and I haven't actually used this for social media yet, but I actually hate posting on social media. I just despise it. I just don't like to do it. But I know it's a way that I can stay connected with my people. And if I can post about the messages that I'm preaching, then it's another way to keep them in the conversation of what God's been saying to our people. So I'm going to start doing this more. But I took the outline, plugged it into ChatGPT, and I said, create 7 social media posts from this outline that'll help people remember the message. And it's amazing. It's incredible. It works.
And especially if you prompt it, you tell it that you're a world-class marketer that specializes in church and whatever campaigns, you start telling it what it is, it starts actually thinking that way. And you keep educating it little by little by little by little. And so that's amazing.
Not to give away everything, but the way I educated my writing assistant is that I said, I'm Ryan Deaton. I pastor Life Church in Fort Myers, Florida. Find series and learn how I communicate from those series so you can help me write. Pretty soon it pulls up and tells me what series from our YouTube channel that it pulled from and describe the way I communicate based on that series, and I was blown away. And then I fed it some of my other series so it would learn more. Now go to this series and learn, and it does. It's amazing.
Another thing that I've done is I've taken books and I've asked it, read this book, summarize, give me a summary of each chapter, and it does that for me and give me the key points of it. Because sometimes you're in a hectic schedule. People say, well, that's cheating. No, we buy Blinkist, or we use other things that actually summarizes books for us, right? Now you don't even have to subscribe to them. You can actually have that available. And so I go through a lot of information, process a lot of information that way.
Yeah. So there's so many practical tools. Another one that Pastor Tony here turned me on to is a little device that is AI operated. It's called Plaud, Plaud. I think I bought the device for something like $120. It is a little digital recorder that will record any meeting that you have. It will transcribe the meeting that you have. It will provide meeting notes that blow your mind. and then recommend follow-up action items if you forgot anything.
Things that weren't decided in the meeting, it'll tell you need to decide that. And you can ask it to also provide the transcripts in whatever language. And so it'll do that for you.
Well, I didn't know that. I just
Yes.
learned something new. See, look
Yes.
at that. And so that's how we keep notes for our staff meetings now. When I have board meetings, a lot of times those are on Zoom, but Zoom has the exact same feature, and Claude's notes look very similar to the Zoom notes, like very similar.
Yeah.
So it's just another amazing way to, again, it's the whole thing of being efficient. It
It'll-
increases efficiency.
It'll do a transcript, it will do a summary, and it'll also create mind maps. Some people think that way. And so it lays it all out so you can follow it. And to me, and it's all filed. You save it, and you never to be forgotten.
Never to be forgotten. And since you've told me, I know at least 3 other people that I've told that have gone and bought it because it is so incredibly practical and useful. It literally fits on the back of your phone if
And-
you want it to.
and you don't
it'll,
have to
it'll
have
a
it.
magnet to your
Yeah.
phone.
And you don't even have to have it on your phone.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's
They created one that now you can wear it on as a chain, and that's it. And does anytime you want it to record, you tell it to record.
Wow.
that's almost scary because there could be any conversation recorded that you don't know about.
Well,
And just to remind pastors, if you're going to record a meeting,
Please
to
do.
do it legal, you have to let everybody know that's in that meeting that it is being recorded. We don't want you to get in trouble. That's good. Well, we've talked about a whole lot of possibilities, but we've only begun to scratch the surface, really. And we're going to talk in the next podcast about some more possibilities when it really comes to outreach. We're kind of talking about daily stuff for pastors, what within our local church and context. But let's talk a little bit about platforms. What platforms tend to be the most helpful, pastor-friendly? Which ones would you guys suggest?
I'm going to ask Oleg
Oleg.
first. So what he does a
So
lot.
we already mentioned a few times ChatGPT. I think this is the most recognizable, the most powerful, and it can solve a lot of things. It can go online, search on internet. It can create, at the moment, the best quality images on your request in any style. It can summarize, analyze coding for web developers. But I personally use a lot Perplexity AI.
Yes, I use that too.
It's a tool which constantly goes online, and it does research like Google does. But instead of you going through the 20 websites and trying to find information that you need, it does the summary. It gives you, and you can follow up. You can find. For example, when I prepare for something, when I need to do a deep research, I just go to Perplexity. I formulate what I want, create a prompt, and it will analyze 40 websites and gives me a summary. I also use, because we are a media ministry, we also use a lot 11 Labs. 11 Labs, it's a number one tool from text to speech conversion. So it creates an audio messages, audio content with the voice which you won't be able to recognize. You even can take your own voice, give it to train the model. It's very simple, and then using your own voice, creating podcasts or
I saw
whatever.
that demonstration there at Coventry, Mosaic Coventry, and
Yeah.
when you did that at a conference. And can you say a little bit of how you used that and for the gospel?
Yeah, I took Pastor Amanda's voice from her sermons, and I used just a little bit, maybe 5-10 minutes, and I gave to 11 Labs, and I said, reproduce this voice, and then you can use the voice that you just gave as an example to speak whatever you want in any intonation, and So, and when I used it, that was funny, but at the same time a bit scary. Come on, someone is using my voice right now. And that's why I think some people, they're afraid of AI, because it can do so many things which you won't be able to recognize. Is it a real person or not? So yeah, and 11 Labs is one of the things that I use a lot. Also Claude, it's like an AI assistant, like ChatGPT, but for certain specific tasks. Sometimes it's much better in terms of the writing. You mentioned, Pastor Tony, that you use it for devotions, for sermons, for the books. When I work with the large texts, for an article, for a book, for a chapter, I found the Claude its own style is slightly better. And Gemini from Google, now I use it more and more because they are constantly improving that model. Yeah, for deep researches, because Google is #1 search engine in the world. And just for a deep research, I give the information that I need, and then it goes and checks many websites and gives me a summary. And
in Perplexity, I've actually gone online, and I'll tell it, find me the best price for this product. And because Perplexity is not driven by ads like Google, their business model is different. Right. It actually finds all like the top 3 or 4 or 5. I ask it, give me the top 5, and it gives me the prices, and it actually provides me the link that I can go there and purchase it. And so it makes it so much easier. You know that you actually, in the old days, my pastor used to say, find 3 quotes and then go online. You got to do all that research. Now I can just do it in
about 30 seconds.
About 30 seconds, you got it. Yeah. And then you can press the link, and actually takes you to the website and actually purchase it.
Yeah.
And so Perplexity is incredible. The when you mentioned the 11 ops, I saw you do a presentation with an avatar, and you've used it to create speaking to in countries that many times is illegal to preach the gospel. Tell me how you guys do that and make that happen.
I tell you what a great teaser.
Okay.
What a great teaser to get you to tune in to the next episode, right? I think that would be a great place for us to pick up. I want to thank you for joining us today. And as we close it out, a couple interesting other possibilities. Number one, huge church right down the road from us. They're using AI to produce almost all their sermon graphics, because they can do it so quickly. So the possibilities, like they say, are endless. And I know you had an incredible trip with your daughter here not too long ago.
Yes.
You only had a certain amount of time in New York City and a whole bunch of things you
21
wanted to
locations to visit.
And you plugged in where you wanted to go, and it printed out the best sequence of which to visit all these places, and you hit all 21 of them in 2.5 days?
In 2.5 days. We did it. Transportation, what mode of transportation, the cost, the time, the distance between each one, how long it was going to take me. I did it all. And we visited 21 locations in New York City in 2.5 days.
And I would say that has nothing to do with ministry, but if it has to do with your family, then it has to do with ministry.
Absolutely.
Right? Anyway, thanks for joining us for this episode of the DNA, Destiny Network Amplified podcast. Join us next time as we continue this conversation about AI.